Well, let me try to quickly just say, because the history of it is Gary was elected to a term starting September 7, 2009, and running for 4 years. He filed a bond to qualify for that office, and then after his removal, that bond was canceled by the commissioners. He was no longer treasurer. The Supreme Court reinstated him as treasurer and found a constitutional defect in the statute such that any action taken pursuant thereto was void. So the question arose, was the cancellation of that bond effective or not? The bonding company asserted that the cancellation was effective and there was no bond. We took the position that that bond had been resurrected and revived such that it still continued through the end of the term. There's a statutory procedure where a bonding company can come in and ask to be released from the bond. And so, on the other hand, the bonding company then said, well, if it wasn't effectively canceled, we want to come in and release it, and that's a statutory proceeding. Today, the commissioners have considered that request and the offer of the bonding company to make a payment in essentially representation of, in consideration of the cancellation of the bond, which essentially is a prorated part of the premium that was paid. And so on that basis, the commissioners agreed to release that bond if and when Mr. Zeigler files a new bond. And that is expected to happen very shortly. So
very shortly, not months like personnel manager Sima Davila indicated it might be?
Yeah, she will be pleasantly surprised, or surprised anyway. That does seem to be in place, so it will be a matter of days.
So let me just make sure. In this agreement, then, Western Surety agrees that the old bond sort of stays in effect until the moment when he gets his new bond, which is coming from someplace else?
That's not covered in the agreement. That's really, I suppose, would be a question for a court at some point. But there have been interim bonds in the meantime, so we don't have a gap, a bonding gap for the county treasurer. We just have, as of today, that one is released.
That one is released as of today. It's all
well, as of the payment and the filing of the new bond, that one will be released. So it makes it nice and clean.
So it is. There's just a seam between the two, but they adjoin.
Right.
Okay.
So there's a benefit, though, to the county that wasn't there before in terms of getting some premium money back, right?
That's correct.
Do you have any word on what the new bond's going to cost and compared to what was paid for the one that's being released?
Yeah, it'll cost more.
How much?
I mean, we're gonna,
how much more?
I don't remember the number. Sorry, but it's
double, triple.
It's about twice as much as the original bond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For $500,000 still? For $500,000 bond though? Same,
For
same
a $500,000 bond, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's going to be a net cost to the county.
Okay.
I believe the original one cost like what, $5,000?
A little more, yeah, $5,500. I think.
Okay,
is the
and
original.
so this new one could cost, you're saying about double? Or
Yeah,
or
yeah, about double.
Okay.
So it could be over 10,000
Yeah,
for the new
yeah,
bond.
it's in that ballpark.
Is there any way to get the specific number by the end of today?
Yeah.
Who do we call?
Well, let's see.
Marcia have it?
Marcia would have it.
Okay.
Okay. Have you been in discussion with Kansas City Law Director Martuccio about the request made by Attorney Craig Conley, that Law Director prosecute Mr. Zeigler for dereliction of duty?
I haven't been part of those conversations now.
Has the Stark County Prosecutor's Office been part of, as far as you know?
I really don't know. I know that that letter that Mr. Conley sent was copied both ways.
So the office has a copy, but you're not doing anything with it?
That would be a criminal matter, and I'm relegated to the civil division.
Okay. Thank you.
Who's the company for the new bond? Who is the company?
Lexon, L-E-X-O-N.
Lexon?
Do you know what town they're in?
No.
Has the county ever used them before? Usually it's Hartford or Traveler.
It's not a name I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Like, do you know the rating? AA, AAA,
I don't know.
F minus?
And is Mr. Zeigler in agreement with this? Or his county? Have you talked to his
Yes,
attorney?
yes, it's being dealt with their cooperation.
So when will it be official so that he can resume full and complete duties as treasurer?
Our understanding is that it'll be upon the filing of the new bond
And that's going to happen in a matter of a few
in
days?
a matter of days.
And so the Board of Commissioners do not have to meet again in order to accept that bond? Because I know that it was a formal action before by the board, but they don't have to do
It was a formal action before because the amount of the bond was raised.
Okay.
But no, there shouldn't be any further action by the commissioners. That'll be just effective on filing of the bond.
Why didn't the board just have Western Surety come in to plead his case? Or anything, why didn't they push Western Surety to resurrect the old bond or anything like that?
Really, the answer to that is it's not a good situation having an uncertainty in the authority of the county treasurer. And it would have been a litigation. They were taking the position that no, they had no further obligation on it. Their option under that branch of their contention would be to file an action in common pleas court for declaratory judgment, probably, and then we would have had uncertainty for who knows how long. And we might at that point have been left with the judgment that there was no bond. So in order to resolve that kind of ambiguity, those questions, that's why we did what we did.
On the motion for reconsideration, have any indication of when there might be a decision on that?
None.
Prior experience, what kind of time has the court taken on those?
It's anything from dismissing it out of hand to 9 months.
Okay.
I mean, if they take it under consideration and as they can and completely reconsider the whole case, it'll take them as long as it took to consider it the first time.
So the longer it goes, the more likely the court's taking a serious look at going into it in some depth?
That's tea leaf reading. You never know.
Okay.
What was the ORC code that the bonding company could have used in order to have the hearing before commissioners? Is it in the resolution?
Yeah, it's in the resolution. Did you get a copy of it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's 134108.
134108, okay. And then the amount of that 3,000, was that the amount that was due back to the county, or was that a negotiated amount?
We calculated that from the date that they were saying it was canceled.
Okay, from the October date?
Right.
Okay.
And it was
I
kind
didn't
of
know if it was a
like-
negotiated amount. Or
It's
no.
somewhat arbitrary, but it was chosen for the date that they said it was canceled. So we say, well, if you say it was canceled by then, why don't you give us our money back? And they agreed to that.
Okay.
With the treasurer they're going to be filing this bond and assuming full responsibilities.
Right.
One of the things that the treasurer hasn't been willing to do is to talk to any media. With him becoming full-blown treasurer and being able to do everything, is he going to be amenable to answering questions, or is he going to be referring everything? And I know you represent him in a sort of way. So now I'm asking from that perspective, not obviously to interfere with his current council situation, but from an official government standpoint, shouldn't he be answering questions of media and also the taxpayers and voters of Stark County?
I can't speak for him and what he may or may not want to talk to the press about.
Okay.
As of the time of the filing of the bond, everyone will be agreed that he is acting and duly qualified treasurer of Stark County, and that will be his position.
Okay. Please give us an update on the status of the civil litigation involving Mr. Zeigler and Stark County.
Before the court now is Mr. Zeigler's motion for summary judgment. The county will be filing a motion for summary judgment this Friday, July 15th. By the court's order, responses to those motions will be filed by July 22nd, and then the matter will be submitted to the court and pending before the court.
You have any idea how long it'll be before the court will make a decision on the summary judgment motion?
No idea.
Okay. There's some negotiations taking place between the two sides at the request of Judge Enderlein.
I can't comment on that.